Hey guys, T-Bowler. Today I got to look at the Fiji for you. Fraser on the screen, I got Yamamoto, Makawa. That's a pretty solid build. Yamamoto is kind of going along with Fraser's core philosophy of enhancing the AP as much as possible, and Makawa gives that extra boost to the stealth to get into position unharassed. These British cruisers are pretty good concealment to begin with, but giving them that extra boost definitely helps. Do got a domination mode game in the map Trident here. This game ends up being a pretty high XP game, especially for a tech tree ship. I think just shy of 4K, and a lot of that's due to killing destroyers. When you're talking about XP and credits and everything you're trying to earn in general with these ships, destroyers are far more valuable to shoot at than battleships. Basically, how the XP is allocated is a portion or a percentage of the ship's total HP. So doing 10k against a destroyer, let's say it's a 10k health destroyer, you get all the available XP for that ship. 10k against a 50, 60, 70k battleship, you're just getting a small fraction of that available XP. And the available XP is the same on each ship. So all the more reason to keep shooting these destroyers, of course, is going to help you win games, because removing the enemy's destroyer threat is a big part of winning. And you can see there's a lot of destroyers in this game. Right off the bat, we're getting a position. Fiji's sitting there. Let's see if that's a good idea or not. I suspect it's not. Nope, it doesn't seem to be in his best interest whatsoever. We do get the smoke down, disappear because we're not getting spotting now until that destroyer pulls through, but we're able to kind of blind fire. And we're looking at where those guns are firing, and then just kind of extrapolating from there and mentally creating an image of that ship. The British cruisers, the fact that they're in the game means you got to practice firing blindly into smoke, and it's just something, if you're not comfortable doing now, just keep working on it. It'll be an important part of the game for now until the end of the game's life cycle, just due to the fact of these cruisers existing. Fiji did get away there. We're not in a major hurry though. This is a pretty strong position. That Fiji is in a major hurry. You see he's got an active smoke, and then he pulls through and goes broadside. I don't know if he's thinking, oh, I lost half my health, this game's lost anyways, or he's just impatient. But there's really no reason for him to squirt through there. You'd rather stay alive for the majority of the match than die within the first 2 minutes, at least. That's the general idea. Maybe he was thinking, we got a destroyer on the cap, I should try and support him, but we didn't really have any push or counter push into there. Our Mayhem that spawned over here decided to sail off into the sunset, doing God knows what. So, kind of a reckless play there. Pensacola comes around, broadside. Let's see if that works out for him. Broadside cruisers against British cruisers, you're going to have a hard time. The thing about these cruisers, though, the British cruisers, you can angle against them in any ship. We'll see some shots in this game fired at destroyers where they're bouncing shots. And, you can angle against these things. That's my point. So go ahead and try it. Any ship, just kind of point your nose at them, and that'll effectively slow their damage output down, almost completely. So that's kind of the main counter to these ships, and that's the way you should be doing it. So we're down a ship here. They're about to go up 2-1 on caps, so I think I need to be a little bit more aggressive here, and we're going to pull forward and try and deal with the Pensacola. He kind of does the same thing the Fiji did earlier, just keeps sailing in a straight line broadside. It doesn't work out. It didn't work out then. It doesn't work out now. And, we got an opportunity to take that Pensacola out. You can say maybe that's the play we should have made. But we got the destroyer spotted, the Akatsuki. That's one of those ships that if you let it alive or let it stay alive late into the game, it can remain undetected at that point and just cause massive problems. Very quick torp reload, very powerful Japanese torps. So that's the priority target. Someone else gets the kill on the Pensacola. No big deal. We're going for the most important targets first, and we remove him from the game. Now we got a Gneisenau coming in. That's a bit of a problem. The ship, we don't want to get too close to him with the smoke being on cooldown. Fubuki is sighted though, and we want to get some damage on him while he's available. Again, a very stealthy ship. Not quite as stealthy as the Akatsuki, but these destroyers, when you get them spotted, shoot at them. Especially if you got quick reloading guns like we got on the Fiji here. You saw there when he was angled in, we got some bounces, but once he goes broadside, it's going to be an issue for him. You get angling on any ship is important, but against these British cruisers is quite effective. Now the guy's now, he's close enough that it's a major problem. We're getting behind this island. We do take a shot there that could have been a lot worse than it ended up being. But now that we're pulling forward, we got him blocked to the left side. And we can focus on trying to hit this Mayhan here. Same deal, he's kind of angled in here, and you can keep an eye on those indicators. When he goes broadside like this, assuming the shells actually hit him, we'll be doing some damage. If he's angled in, well, then you're going to get shatters, you're going to get bounces, same sort of deal. So if a destroyer can potentially angle against these things, then any ship can do it. But, I mean, keep in mind here, we got the Gneisenau now, but we're leaving him alone. He's not important, he's not doing anything, and we're using the map awareness, the situational awareness, spotting those destroyers on the map, identifying them as, the most valuable targets available, and we're trying to get them whittled down and take them out of the game. A lot of players would just say, okay, this Gneisenau is closest to me, how do I deal with him? I got torps, let's rush him. Hitting him even with 3 torps, it's not going to take care of that ship, and you're probably going to get killed anyways. So if you're not checking the map constantly, that's a skill you need to be working on. It separates good players from the rest of the pack, really. If you glance at that map as often as possible, if you're watching replays, that's a perfect time to practice this skill. Just spend half the time you're watching replays looking at the map. That'll just kind of get you into the practice of using that mentality and looking around, being aware of your situations. Now that Gneisenau does come in, we do have smoke. We already got smoke dropped by this destroyer. Launched some torps there. I'm not really concerned if they hit or not. We just got them down. It's more distraction factor, more potential damage just floating around in the universe. But he's sitting there broadside too, and you can see if we're hitting him in the superstructure, we're landing big, juicy shots. If we're hitting him in the heavily armored hull, not much. We're going to get a lot of blocks and not a lot of damage. So battleships, you want to be shooting these like HE. And even when they angle away here, you're going to see blocks and shatters. That might have been a mix on hitting the hull and the superstructure. Even angling the superstructure becomes more defensible. The armor becomes thicker at the angles. So this is just kind of a lesson on sitting there broadside, I guess. It's not a good idea in general, but it's really not a good idea against these fast-firing, high damage output types of British cruisers. We're up to 4 kills now. Could we have the Kraken already? Possibly had we shot that Pensacola, but that Akatsuki also might have gotten away. So either way, I don't generally play too concerned about kills. Algerie, we did have our guns cleared for that one shot. And even though we don't get a lot of damage, we do get a couple of resets there. And, the game, we're up a couple ships, but it's not over till it's over. This is a game that you can very easily lose. Mayhan's kind of trying to go in for a suicide strike on this battleship. So we're coming over here to support him, and getting rid of that final destroyer is just going to be kind of the final nail in the coffin for this team. There we do get the Kraken, and at this point, the game's looking pretty good. We might as well try and get some more damage. Little careless here, these torps. I was assuming they're Mayhan torps. They're short range. That one fizzled out, but these ones, you can see they would have actually hit me here, so you can use your understanding of the enemy's torp range, but you got to be kind of sure. King George fires a AP salvo here. That's a short fuse AP shot. King George AP into broadside cruisers here. That could have very easily been a he-gone moment. We do get the smoke down, and we begin to fire on here. Started off, I don't know, about 90k damage, and we'll just see the blistering power of this weapons platform in action here. Close range. There's not a lot the King George can do. It'd be nice if someone would continue to spot that ship for us, but whether or not he's being spotted, we can still get some shots on him. He was basically dead in the water, and we knew roughly where he was. So now that he's back spotted, we're going to go back trying to target the superstructure. Same deal. You can see when we're hitting him in the side of the ship, not a lot of damage. And once we aim up a little bit and hit those superstructure sections, we're getting, we've gotten 25k damage in, about a minute here on this thing. So blistering attack. This is just kind of, I guess this video ended up being an ode to not sitting broadside near British cruisers. You can shut them down quite effectively if you're angled properly against them. This battleship that we bailed out earlier, or attempted to bail out and killed the Mayhan for him. He comes right next to us, blocks a bunch of shots. I don't like ships sitting right next to each other. It just increases the chance for the unspotted ship to take damage, and you can block shots like that. So it's kind of a faux pas. Try not to sail right next to your teammates like that. No real reason to do so. Anyway, King George goes down, and that's it. So that's a look at the Fiji, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, you should consider subscribing. There's a lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below for me. I do love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.